Hello there friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Alan. When we were first introduced to the Bad Batch at the end of the last season of the Clone Wars, this elite unit of mutated soldiers were advertised as the best of the best. They were known for their unorthodox commando tactics, which were very unpredictable and usually achieved very spectacular results on the battlefield. When the Separatists invaded the core worlds of the Republic at Anaxes, it created panic amongst the bougie elite of the galaxy. With the Outer Rim siege in full swing and the Separatists on the defensive, no one had expected an enemy offensive to reach the heart and core of the Republic. To make matters worse, leading the charge was Separatist Admiral Trench, the impossible-to-kill military genius. The Jedi would send not only Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, but also Mace Windu as well to face this huge threat against the Republic. The problem was not even these three Jedi, along with Captain Rex and Commander Cody, could figure out a good enough strategy to defeat the Separatist army. And reports on the battlefield seemed to indicate that the Separatist alliance could almost predict the movements of the Republic forces. Now, we later find out that former ARC Trooper Echo had been kidnapped by the Separatists and was being used to read Republic battle formations and strategies. But at this time, the desperate Commander Cody had only one other option to defeat the Separatists, and that was calling in the Bad Batch. Their effect on the battlefield was immediate. Clone Force 99 was sent on a reconnaissance mission to seek the source of the Separatist success against the Republic. After their gunship was shot down, the Bad Batch was able to quickly assess the situation and engage an entire company of droids that were destroyed within minutes. For the rest of the mission on Anaxes, we see the Bad Batch excel in all sorts of combat situations and environments. There was no threat that the Separatists could send that the Bad Batch could not defeat. We see the Bad Batch also engage the Separatist alliance with similar results just moments before Order 66 is executed during the conquest of Kaller. But shortly after this is when we start to see them struggle. While in exile and working for the Trandoshan fixer Sid, Clone Force 99 is ordered to recover an individual, which also happens to be a baby Rancor, from a group of Zygerian slavers. Now, Zygerian slavers are quite competent at fighting. They also are unpredictable because they tend to use energy weapons like energy whips and bows. We've also seen them neutralize Jedi Knights before, but that was when they were heavily outnumbered. But in this case, Clone Force 99, when going up against the Zygerians, actually have the element of surprise on their side. Yet they quickly get defeated without even taking a shot. It's actually kind of embarrassing. Equally embarrassing is their failure during their next mission for Sid, which is to go retrieve a tactical droid from a decommissioning plant. They again fail. This time their enemy was a bunch of security droids who hardly posed much of a threat at all, especially when compared to an entire column of battle droids. So what has happened to Clone Force 99? What has made them a less efficient fighting force? Now, the most obvious reason that I could come up with is that Clone Force 99 is trained specifically to take on large formations of Separatist battle droids. If you really look at the tactics they use during the Battle of Anaxes, Clone Force 99 is not only being unpredictable here, they're also having fun and being quite flashy. Running at the enemy while holding a giant piece of metal is not an efficient way to engage an enemy force that is much larger than you. Your best bet is actually to retreat, find good ground, and fortify your position, and attack the droids while they're out in the open, not run out into the open and expose yourself as well. It is possible that Clone Force 99 has just gotten used to fighting the Separatist droids, and so now they're experts at understanding how to defeat them. They know exactly how they think and how they move. It's also very possible that battle droids are as incompetent as the Clone Wars cartoons portrayed them, which is why the Bad Batch will struggle against more competent foes like the Zygerian slavers. Maybe Clone Force 99's specialty isn't just their combat abilities, but it's also how they adapt to enemies after facing them the first time. Maybe the next time they fight Zygerians, they'll be more successful. We often think of warfare as a clean process where the superior force always comes out on top, but there are so many different factors and possibilities that makes every encounter with an angry enemy armed with a weapon incredibly dangerous. But then what is the explanation for Clone Force 99 having so many problems when they're trying to deal with the security droids during the Corellia mission? Surely these security forces are a lot easier to defeat than a Separatist battle droid column. It is however possible that these security droids are programmed differently, and Clone Force 99 is just not used to these kind of tactics. When Order 66 was triggered, Crosshair's inhibitor chip was triggered as well. This led to a series of events which ends with him betraying Clone Force 99 and joining the Empire. This is one of the major differences in personnel from Bad Batch before Order 66 and Bad Batch after Order 66. This also seems to coincide with a decrease in combat efficiency. Crosshair was probably one of the most dangerous members of Clone Force 99, and in his place we now have Echo, who is missing an arm and usually equipped with a one-handed weapon like a blaster pistol or maybe a carbine. Now, Echo isn't without skills. He's really good at jacking into things. He has a jack for a hand, and he also has a cybernetic computer thing on his head, so that allows him to perform more calculations. But these things don't necessarily always translate into success on the battlefield. A sniper, however, with a commanding view of the battlefield can immediately be a force multiplier. Not only is Crosshair great at eliminating opposing officers or commanding droids, he can also control the flow of movement on the battlefield and prevent Clone Force 99 from being flanked and surrounded. He can do this by cutting off certain avenues of approach. We see that during the battle with the Zygerians, Echo is in Crosshair's Overwatch position. He immediately gets made, and once he's taken down, the rest of the squad is quickly overwhelmed as well. Echo is just out of his element here, and it really does show. We have to remember that Crosshair isn't just a great shot. That's only a small portion of a sniper's job. He's also an expert at concealment and stealth. He's terrific at finding vantage points for Overwatch, and his visual senses are extremely sharp, a side effect of his mutation. Crosshair is a terrific scout, and he can relay information about the battlefield back to Hunter. Without him, Clone Force 99 is completely blind and is forced to fight at close range with their backs to the wall. This reduces their efficiency as a unit and makes them fight in ways they're not used to. And when their unit fights blind without Overwatch, they tend to lose coordination and start doing things on their own. The Bad Batch is ultimately still a commando unit, and commandos, unlike Null Arcs, depend on each other in order to be more effective fighters. Whenever one of these mutated clones gets separated, that's when problems begin to emerge and people start to get hurt. Obviously, along with losing Crosshair, they also lose all the support and intel briefings that they would get when they were a part of the JAR or the Empire. During the battle against the Zygerians, the Clone Force 99 wasn't even sure who their extraction target was. When Hunter decides to bring Omega into the fold, he also takes on the responsibility of protecting and raising a child, on top of everything else he's doing. Omega can use a blaster rifle with some level of proficiency, and she's capable of using an energy bow, but she doesn't wear any armor into battles, and more importantly, she's a child, and so she does become a liability. Even so, Omega ends up saving Clone Force 99 from the Zygerians. She also ends up saving Hunter from asphyxiation on one occasion as well. The point is, she's not completely helpless, but during a conventional battle, they do have to keep an eye on her. I also have to wonder if these inhibitor chips inside the clones' brains are taking a toll on them without them realizing it or not. A small persistent headache might be easy to ignore, but it can also decrease your reaction time or ability to think clearly. It can make you more sensitive to the sound of blaster fire or the brightness of blaster bolts. Either way, it's not a good idea to have these inhibitor chips in their heads, especially after Order 66 is executed. Maybe now, with them removed, we'll be able to see Clone Force 99 fight again at their fullest potential. I'm curious to see how they'll do against the scavenger guilds on Bracca. And that's because, as of now, when I'm speaking to you, that episode has not come out yet. Well, let me know in the comment section below what you think about my theory. Has Clone Force 99 become less efficient? If so, why do you think this is happening? Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button down below so you don't miss out on the rest of our awesome content. And as usual, thanks for joining us today. If you're watching this, you are Generation Tech.